Hello friends, I'm Jana. I wanted to do a little bit of like a bookish reset, mostly because I'm in what I call a book funk. I don't call it a book slump because I still read when I have a book funk. It just kind of feels like I'm kind of reading aimlessly and not quite like loving everything. I think it kind of happens especially after I read a lot of good books because then it's like, oh, well, I found the best books already. So like, what am I doing? But my hobby is reading and I'm used to it. So I keep doing it, but it's like a cycle and I feel like funky and I feel like I'm not picking up the right things or I don't know what mood I'm in. And so I'm kind of just going to give myself some grace. Why don't I revive some things? Why don't I like give new life to my love of books? So I was thinking of doing a few things to just kind of reset myself and then maybe hopefully spark, some bookish joy in my life. So that way I can come back to loving things. I think this happened for a few reasons. I think last month I did my 3 vlogs for spooky books. And so I was very specifically reading heavily one genre last month. And then I also did a reread of my favorite book of the year last weekend. And so I feel like after that, it's like, okay, I absolutely love and adore that book. So what's the point in trying to find other books? Like, you've already found the best. So maybe I just need to give in to rereading. Maybe I'll do that. I've been reading the same book for 2 weeks physically, which almost never happens. Usually physically, things take me like 2 to 3 days to finish. And then on audio, I tend to finish every 1 to 2 days. So I am just a little like stalled out. I'm still reading. I'm still enjoying reading, but I can just feel that I'm not absolutely loving things. So the first thing I did was I pulled all of my books off my shelf that I want to get rid of. Because when I look at my shelves, I want to feel inspired. And not from these shelves. I have shelves in another room, but that room has terrible lighting. And something I think I'm going to do later in this video is I think I'm going to replace all of my Batman stuff with books. But this room gets a lot of light. And so one of my concerns is that you can get sun bleaching. And this gets a lot of light. So I was thinking about putting mainly like darker books back here or books that I don't think are going to be as susceptible to sun bleaching. Or I'll just have the like stenciled edges out because I don't know, like logically, like would stenciled edges yellow if they're not white? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not thinking about this correctly, but I was thinking so that way I can have more of a bookish backdrop and maybe that would make me feel better. So anyway, to the books that I'm getting rid of, I'm getting rid of Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I no longer care about this. I also just don't like him as a person. He just gives me the ick. And so that's all I have to say about that. I'm also getting rid of The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I just also don't care about this. I gave it 3 stars. It was just very much in the middle for me. Like, I read it and I was like, okay. Like, to me, a 3-star is a book I enjoyed, but I don't take anything away from. Like, I'm not bringing the story with me in my head. So why have it take up shelf space? Now, this one I actually DNF'd. And also, like, she's gorgeous. Like, she's stunning. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I wanted to love this so bad, but I was like, not gonna lie, like 60% through, and I just knew I didn't care. I didn't care how this ended. And it, again, just felt like a book I wasn't gonna take with me. And then I actually gave this 4 stars, but I just don't feel the need to own it because it's not an all-time favorite. She's also stunning. Like, I don't have anything against, like, if I did keep this, but I do have, like, limited space. I just don't need a copy of it. And then this, I read this last year, gave it 3 stars. It was fun. I just, like, don't need to have this special edition. The Dark King. This is like a BDSM fairy situation. If you've had that on a bingo card and you need a book to read, it's there. And then this is actually funny because I talked about the most current book in my book releases for November. I didn't love this one. Like this one, I gave like 2 stars, but the rest of the books in the series have like really hit, and the author has really like hit her stride. And so I'm going to keep reading the series. I just don't feel the need to own this. And also they're not coming out with like matching covers. And also, I'm not going to lie, like I hate these edges. Like they don't look good to me. Like they're like leaves and very purple backdrop. Like I love the cover itself. Like she's pretty. They don't spark joy. And then I have this. This is like stunning. Like she's so stunning. Like, look at that. Like, she's stunning. This again was a book I read in September. I gave 3 stars, and I just don't feel like I'm taking it with me. And I also have a signed copy that I got from the author at Comic-Con. The author herself, she's very funny. I liked meeting her. I had a conversation with her. She was great. I don't need to own 2 copies, and the other one's like signed and personalized, so I'd kind of rather just hold on to the one, especially since I didn't love it. And then this one, this is actually a second copy because I didn't think I was going to be able to get the Fairy Loot matching edition to the first one. So I bought this one, which is the UK hardcover. So I paid shipping from Waterstones for them to send this to me. And she's gorgeous, and I'm going to read her. But I just already own another copy. And then this one, I also DNF'd. I got 20% in, and I was retaining none of it. Like, my brain didn't care. I connected to nothing that was happening in the story, and I just, also, like, the edges, I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm just bored by them. And then the last one was another one I read in September, gave 3 stars. I thought I was going to love this. This is, again, a UK hardcover from Waterstones. So I paid shipping to get this to me, and because I like this cover way more than the American. So those are all the books I want to get rid of. And then to continue with this reset, I'm going to, I'm going to clean these off because they're a little dusty. Like, I think you can tell he needs a little love. And then I have to think about like where I want to put all of my Batman stuff, because like maybe I could just move it a shelf down. This is like my Nintendo shelf. You don't really see, and you never see into this one. This is like just miscellaneous Pokemon. I have a little room back there, so maybe I'll just shift Batman stuff over that way. And as you can see, Star Wars. But since this is where I want to film, like maybe this will make me a little more excited to read, because while I'm filming, I'll actually see books here instead of my Batman stuff. Like she's like, let's look at her. She's gorgeous. She's insane. I love her, but maybe books would be better. So as part of my little bookish reset, I was out at brunch with my friends, and I was like, okay, what if we pop into this bookstore just to, I'm just trying to like get my groove back. So we went in there, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to pick up anything, but I was like, it feels good to look at books, be with books, But I did end up picking up the 5th volume of Lore Olympus. I've read Lore Olympus 4. I haven't finished it, or I'm not like caught up on it. I was caught up on it before COVID happened, and then I kind of lost track of it, and then I've just been collecting the volumes, but I know I'll just fly through it. And I'm also doing a challenge in December where I'm gonna try to read 30 books in 30 days. So I was thinking, since these are easy to fly through, that's like 5 days, like if I read the 5 volumes of this, good time to pick it back up, because I know these are like really addicting, and I'll just go super fast. I'm hoping I will get out of my funk soon. It's kind of weird. I tend to read like between 20 and 30 books every month. And this month I'm definitely slower. Like I've only just finished my like 3rd book and we're like on the 8th. So we're definitely slow goes it, but I feel like this background is just making me feel like a lot better. Getting rid of some of the books and taking them off my shelves that I was just kind of like bummed to see because either I didn't like them or I don't want to read them. And so it wasn't very inspiring. I'm thinking maybe I just need to like do a reread of something. The only drawback to this video is I did order a book and it got stolen off my porch. So a little bit of a downer to end this video, but you know, we keep chugging along. Okay, it was a sign that I had to include this, but this from Barnes & Noble just showed up, and I think it's my Iron Flame. And I'm really hoping, let's all pray together, that it's the sprayed edges. Okay, it is Iron Flame. Yes! I'm already like 25% into this. It is a little slow, but so it's not really getting me out of the funk. I've been told it picks up around 40%, so I'm gonna just keep soldiering on. But I'm so glad I got the right edges. This fixes someone else stealing my freaking 4th wing. But thank you for joining me as I attempt to get my groove back.